Yeah, of course. I feel like Jinbei was definitely the most impactful Straw Hat out of these four, just from what happened in Marineford.
Without Franky and his ship, specifically what he did with the speed cola, there's been plenty of times where that has actually gotten them out of situations and has made their situations better.
Robin. So I feel like her direct impact on the crew is like extremely important. And then for the girlies, you know, she also brings some of that emotional intelligence too.
Oh, absolutely not. No. You're celebrating a man walking around in his drawers. No. So as Mike just as my
Alright, what's good, YouTube? We are back with another video. You read the title correctly. We're determining who is the most impactful Straw Hat addition between Robin, Franky, Brook, and Jinbe. Let's get right into it.
And then on top of that, she can give all these young women hope. Women, you have hope, young ladies. You can be important like Nico Robin. You can do it, absolutely. Plus, as a Straw Hat.
Alright, so y'all heard what I had to say. We gonna drop Brook off immediately. Y'all can defend Brook in the comment section, but no Brook. Let's start with you, and who you got as the most impactful Straw Hat between Robin, Franky, and Jinbe? Because we ain't talking about Brook.
I mean, you already know what type of time I'm on. Y'all know I'm the Jinbei advocate, you know what I'm saying?
The big fish.
You know what I'm saying? Big fan, you know what I'm saying? No Perk Horty, though. We don't rock with Perk Horty. But you know what I'm saying? I feel like Jinbei... Yeah, of course. I feel like Jinbei was definitely the most impactful Straw Hat out of these four, just from what happened in Marineford. And then even if you want to take away what happened in Marineford, we could talk about him saving him in Fishman Island with the blood transfusion. That's twice. He saved them 2 times in the story. And then we could talk about on, what was it, Amazon Lily, I think, afterwards, when he was breaking down after all the, everybody got sent different places. Jinbei was also there for that as well, to reel Luffy back in. I feel like outside of all the other characters here, I feel like the story wouldn't have progressed as much without Jinbei. So that's my reason why Jinbei is over the other two.
I'm not mad at the Jinbei pick. I ain't gonna lie to you. You could have threw in the fact that he's a warlord, and when he joined the team, you know, he definitely has some impact on the crew too. It's just certain things that some of the other characters had, specifically Robin. Without her, how are we gonna find the poneglyphs?
That's true.
How are we gonna find One Piece's biggest mystery? Or, you know, how are we gonna determine or close the gap on the connection with the Void Century without Robin? So I feel like her direct impact on the crew is like extremely important. And then for the girlies, you know, she also brings some of that emotional intelligence too, that emotional depth. I feel like that the team did low-key need it. So I feel like that's something else that is extremely important. But I ain't gonna take everything, Amari. You know, I know we on the same team on this one.
Actually, I believe it's Khalil that's on the same team with you.
I forgot. Franky. My bad. Oh.
No, that's all good.
Right,
so
yeah,
Khalil, if you want to pick up from where you said, you can. But if you let me talk, you know.
Oh, absolutely not. No. You're celebrating a man walking around in his drawers. No. So as Mike just as Mike said, Mike pretty much doubled down. I'm going to double down everything Mike pretty much said. Robin is going to be essential for the One Piece story, not just as a Straw Hat, but also just as being a person who can, just like Mike said, uncover a lot of the secrets that the government's trying to keep away from everybody, like what really happened in the Void Century, what was so terrible that they can't let the rest of the world know. For Robin to be one of the people that'll be, actually, she will be the person who's going to be single-handedly responsible for bringing that information out there. I think that automatically makes her just very, very unique to the story and just a very important Straw Hat overall. And then on top of that, she can give all these young women hope. Women, you have hope, young ladies. You can be important like Nico Robin. You can do it, absolutely. Plus, as a Straw Hat, they need
turn into a presidential candidate.
I was about to say, boy turned into Kamala Harris.
Right.
But
inspiration.
Really, with Nami though, I feel like they needed Robin because Nami's more like the big sister figure in the group. Meanwhile, Robin's more of the mama bear So I feel like they definitely needed a touch of like a soft side to have a balance with Nami's, tough love approach and everything like that.
True.
Right. Where you at with valid, it, Amari? Because I don't think you got nothing.
So I went with Franky, and the reason I went with Franky is one thing, he is their shipwright. And for every person that's sailing on the seas, you need to have a shipwright to make sure that your boat can withstand everything that they come across. Also, without Franky and his ship, specifically what he did with the Speed Cola, there's been plenty of times where that has actually gotten them out of situations and has made their situations better, especially when escaping the Navy, when flying out of the sky. Shoot, even when we saw in the manga recently in Egghead Island, if it wasn't for that, their ship probably would have got destroyed by one of the what are they called? The Gorsei, right? And that was an invention by Frank. That was actually for their escape. Like Jinbe got them in the water. Don't get me wrong, but Jinbe's not going to get them with some cloud bending, right? So like, if it wasn't for Franky's ship, they would have never gotten out there. And for all of his inventions that he's made, he's actually allowed them to be able to also not only navigate on the water, but also under the water too, which is also very pivotal for exploring certain parts of the world all throughout the One Piece. And I mean, he's also been the one to create big robots. So now with the intelligence and all the information that he's going to get from Egghead Island, who knows, he might be able to even advance the ship even further for a lot of other stuff that they may need going on into the future. So
I think you're
cooked.
Did he help with Nami's thing too? Or was that no? That was Usopp, right?
That was Usopp.
That was Usopp. Yeah, don't do that. Right. No, Amari. I see Amari's like point. It's just not as impactful. Like, because he's still not taking us to Lafto. It's kind of like he has a very pivotal role, and I think you missed one important impact that he has is that he's kind of the opposite of Tom. How Tom worked with Roger, and then Franky is kind of the opposite. So he has that history that kind of brings upon Luffy's journey, which I think is extremely cool. But again, it don't beat Nico is the Void Century Poneglyphs in Laftail. And she has an iconic moment, the We Gotta Live. Franky don't got none of that, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like we can go under the water in a bubble, but like, come on, man.
But that's all that stuff is important, though. I'm saying you can have all these important people, but you need to have the main foundation to get you to those points. That's just as important. Because without that ship, you saw what Usopp did. Usopp tried to have. Now, granted, we gonna talk about the
Thor
BS
still
of the
Thor
soul.
without the hammer? I think Thor. Huh?
What happened?
Go ahead. What was you about to say?
I was saying, like, is Thor still Thor without the hammer? Like, Thor's hammer is iconic to Thor, but it's still Thor's hammer. You know what I mean? Like, so like Luffy is extremely.
Everywhere else.
I'm not saying Luffy wouldn't have been able to get around, but I'm saying he would have been able to steal somebody else's ship, and we probably would be in a maybe not as good position, but. I feel like everybody's getting around fairly easy.
We know Rayleigh. We would have got a boat from Rayleigh. So it wouldn't.
That's true. Even if you get a boat from Rayleigh, you still need somebody with enough intelligence and manpower.
Yeah, we would have stole Rayleigh. It's like, nah.
You still need a proper shipwright to keep the ship from not falling apart. You also need a ship that's strong enough to withhold all of the storms and all of the beasts that you come across in the sea.
You're right. You're right.
And we had Boa. Boa had a boat that did the same thing. We definitely would have got
a boat fly.
I don't think we needed to fly though. Even if without
Amari's the easy way to kind of phase Franky out of this, and is the reason why I switched from Franky is because Franky in this situation is one-dimensional. Everything you have to go back to is ship related, not even really Franky related. I mean, it is Franky related directly, but indirectly. I think for the end of this video, we should be determining between Jinbe and Robin, because I think Ant missed some pivotal points with Jinbe, because I betrayed him because I was supposed to be Jinbe team, but there's some pivotal parts that are missed, and I think we should determine between Jinbe and Robin. So Amari, you were not. Let's see where you at, Amari, between the two.
I I'm gonna be honest. Then I'd agree with you. Like I said, Robin's kind of the main factor here. You need her in order to read all of that. She's the most intelligent. She knows all of the information about the Sentry Void and stuff like that. So I mean, she was hunted from a child because she knew that information. Like that alone already shows you how impactful she is. So
I don't know. I feel like we wouldn't have a crew
everybody
without
wants
Jinbe
Robin.
though. I mean, of course.
Jinbe could be about
we had a crew without Jinbe. No, what you should be saying
he would have died.
Jinbe, who would have died? Say the full thing.
Luffy would have died without Jinbe twice. We would not have
I think in a lot of situations.
3 times, I think. Technically 3, because you want to count Big Mom when they were in the water. He saved them from Whole Cake as well. That's 3 times we would have had no story without Jinbe. And he drives the boat too. She might be the read the opponent list, but we got to get there. Jinbe drives the boat.
I mean, driving the boat. Listen.
I was
about to say,
no one else drives the boat but Jinbe. They literally said he's the best. What's it called to drive the boat?
So who drove it before he got there?
Yeah,
they were taking turns, kind of like they were picking.
Oh, so everybody could drive the boat. Gotcha.
They were definitely fighting with the boat. They were definitely fighting with the boat.
I think we should focus, at least if we're going to defend Jinbe, you should say that he's most impactful post time skip. And I think you should also have brought up the fact that he has the combat strength and he's the only other person who's been basically advancing the plot alongside Sanji, Zoro, Luffy. I think that's where you would have had the biggest strength with
the plot, but I didn't say it like that though.
He's also the only one on their team too that can both fight on the land and in the water.
Yeah.
He can save any of them if anybody drowns.
My thing is, I feel like everybody on the team, you don't want to see them replaced, but is replaceable. Because if we got Rayleigh on the team, I think he's just as impactful as Jinbe, if not more. However, I think the only person on the team who is quite literally impossible to replace is
Robin.
But
he's the only
we are at
survivor.
time. Who is the only survivor? But we are at time. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. We forgot to tell y'all that in the middle of the video. Y'all can let us know who y'all think is the most impactful from these 4. Jinbe, Brook, Franky, and Robin. We'll catch you in the next video.
Nobody cares about Brook.
Peace.
Or Franky.
Hey, nah, that's not true, man. Shout out to Laboon, though.
Laboon?
Laboon
gonna show up at the end. He gonna show up at the end for one scene.
You right? He gonna save them.
Bro, you know what's gonna be? It's gonna be Laboon literally.